What's going on, everybody? I'm Josh Morris, and joining me is Stacy Talich, as always. And we are with hosting the Everything Paranormal show. And guys, thank you so much for joining us tonight. And stick around; don't go anywhere. Even White Boy has to shout. So, listen, seriously, we've got a lot to talk about now. I'm probably not going to maybe talk as much. It's going to be hard for me. My throat's a little worn out. It's been a long day. I was sick for like a week and I'm like 90, I'm mostly recovered, right? There's that last sliver and I went back to work, and I'm fine. Just that last bit of, and, but man, it really takes a toll on you when you have to speak to people longer than normal or like a huge conversation. And by the end of it, it's like I was just, I'm worn out, man. So Stacy might have to bear some of the brunt of this. And in fact, I am going to turn it over to Stacy so he can talk to see, it's already starting a little bit about talk about the prophecies or the current situation we're in right now.
Okay. One of the big things that's actually going on right now as we speak is the 7-year Shemitah. In the book of Leviticus, it talks about sowing seeds for 6 years, and on the 7th year, you let the land rest. And it acts as a fertilization for the next 7 years. It is a point of not only God's law of what you should do, but it actually is holistic in that regard. They also have what's known as the Jubilee, and that's 7 years times 7, which is also happening right now. It's the 49-year or 50-year Jubilee where you completely remove all debt. Now they have debts that are forgiven. Certain debts are forgiven every 7 years, but at the 50-year Jubilee, it's like wipe the slate clean. And that's where we're at. This year is the Jubilee. Now, what that entails is things that have been going on for the last 50 years. If they've been adhering to God's law, according to the Torah, they will be fertile for the next 50. Anything that has not been fertile and has been essentially going against God's law is essentially wiped off the face of the earth. And this cycle, this 50-year cycle, 49-year cycle, is lunar. That's the Jewish calendar is based off of the lunar cycles. Now you gave it to me. And this year is it. Now, if you've noticed, if you've been watching the news today, Queen Elizabeth just died. And they celebrated her 50 years in the longest reigning monarch in the history of England. And her 50-year celebration was called her Golden Jubilee. And, she made it through that, the anniversary of that earlier this year. But she just died today at the end of the Shemitah calendar. It's depending on which ones you're talking about in the cycle, it can happen anywhere between September 7th and the 25th. This year, the actual is when the new moon happens in September on the 25th. That is the end of the Shemitah in the beginning of the next 7 years. That means that pretty much between now, the full moon is on the 10th. Between the 10th and the 25th, things are going to get really, really weird if you follow the Jewish calendar, because things are just unexpectedly going to just fall apart. And we're on the precipice financially around the world. The Eurozone is literally about ready to collapse. And when that happens, we have about 2 weeks that on estimate between 2 weeks and a month that the United States will collapse. The entire financial system. The Chinese financial system can literally, it's any minute now. We don't really understand all the things that go on because they don't report all of their numbers. And they lie a lot on what their numbers really are. But best estimates is their entire economy is about ready to go tits up. Simply because they keep shutting everything down. They keep printing a lot of money. They keep doing all kinds of things that are not on the up and up. And a lot of people are like, this economy in China is just destined for failure within days, if not just a week or so. Then you got the whole Russia turning off the energy to the Eurozone. I mean, it really is a situation where we are about ready to go back 100 years in as far as like advancements, being able to produce energy, being able to finance anything, be able to grow anything, because they keep trying to choke off the fertilizers to all the farmers. And, Bill Gates is buying up all the farmland. All kinds of things are happening all at once that I saw a list. There was like 150 things that are happening all at the same time right now, that any one of them could cause a global collapse. And they're all happening right now. So this whole thing with, I'm not Jewish, and I literally have been learning about this on the fly over the last few weeks. And if you look at the track record of how this has been going, it's really spooky on how accurate, the collapses happen. I would not be surprised, actually, if between now and the 25th, Joe Biden either resigned or dropped dead himself, simply because that is, it's on the table. He's in a position right now where he's going to destroy his own party, destroy the government, and he's really sunsetting. He could literally forget to breathe one day, and it would be all part of the natural process. So we're in a very turbulent time, but the whole idea around this is not to totally freak out, even though that has some real implications there. This is setting the stage for what's going to happen in the next 50 years, the 7 years primarily, and then the next 50 years beyond that. And the World Economic Forum has been playing right into it. They want to have everything, their whole agenda put in place by the next Shemitah, Agenda 2030. They have all kinds of stuff planned for us, and I don't think it's going to work. Things are falling apart too quick, and they can't control the populations.
Right.
You got Germany and Holland, and basically the entire Eurozone is protesting right now, and they're asking their leaders nicely right now, don't do this. Stop doing this. We don't need to do this. They're doing it nicely right now by just protesting in the streets. If it goes in much further, they're not going to be asking nicely anymore. It's going to be, rep spear time. They're going to be rolling in the guillotines and things like that. And the World Economic Forum is just not going to be able to control it. And it's crazy.
Yeah.
And I'm really kind of impressed on how this calendar has been playing out the way that it has. And it's not getting a lot of attention. And you would think, with being the Jewish calendar, it would be all over the news, but it's not.
Sounds to me like some people need to get right with Jesus. Probably gonna hear it for that, but that's okay.
Well, this would have been a perfect Chris Carter, talking point, but I don't know. He's been so busy lately.
Oh, Sean Carter.
I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah.
No. X-Files guy. No. Yeah.
And then I need to reach back out to him. I believe he's back. I mean, I'm sure we could get him back on. I'm sure we can get him on the show. I know he said he would. So, especially nowadays. But yeah, Terry Lynn, I definitely, we definitely saw your comments. I had it muted earlier. And I know what you're worried about, baby. Don't worry. So,
I'm telling you, the banks may not even exist here by the end of the month. So, I'm not saying that that's gonna happen, but the big banks are freaking out. Wells Fargo and Bank of America, they're really freaking out right now. So whatever's going on, a debt jubilee is in the cards, and that means complete forgiveness of all debt.
Well, we'll see. But I think what we'll do now that we got the and that's why I wanted you guys to be, for those of you that watched the beginning of this video later on and you made it to this point, we are going to contact some spirits, but I felt it was important for Stacy to fill you guys in on the current state of affairs when it comes to certain type of prophecies, things that are overlooked like that, and often people don't always realize that some of these things are lining up with those type of things. So it's like, you can either be afraid or you can get some knowledge, and like they always say, fear of the unknown. Mm-hmm. And unknown is really representative of just non-knowledge, right? So if you fear something, it's because you usually don't have enough knowledge of it. Usually. Now, sometimes you can fear something when you have enough knowledge of something, I guess. But typically, fear will subside, the more you learn something and when you educate yourself. So,
well, primarily what this comes down to is you're going to have to get through the next year, the seventh year of not planting anything like the farmers would do. They would let the land rest for a year. They would normally store enough food to deal with that 1 year where they weren't planting anything, where they weren't working. That the 6 years were leading up to that 1/7 year.
Right.
They just let everything rest. Nobody does that anymore. Unless you're Amish. And the idea is, if you don't have food, if you don't have water, if you don't have the things that you need in order to sustain yourself, when everything else is literally gone into a holding pattern or collapsed, you're not going to do very well. So now is the time, before like the toilet paper shortage, where everybody's running to the store to grab as much toilet paper as they can. Don't wait until that happens before you buy your food. Get what you need now that's going to last you. And you can still get things in bulk, but by and large, the harvest season this year is for shit. It really is. No matter where you're looking in the world, it is.
Didn't the corn come in like the lowest yield?
Yes. The lowest yield in 50 years. Weird. Yeah. 50 years, that jubilee point. It is literally happening over and over again. The problem is 50 years ago, there was 160 million people in America. Now there's double that. So what the lowest point they had 50 years ago is going to be equal to a lot less this time around.
Well, and they said that, usually they can kind of gauge a little bit of the world food problems by the corn yield, so when the corn yield comes in at the lowest point, then typically around the world, you're going to have a lot more food shortages and things coming up. So it absolutely makes sense.
It's across the board. Everything in every country, some of it's been manufactured and some of it is climate or weather. In the western half of the United States, it's all been based off of drought. But in the Eurozone, they've been choking them off with the fertilizer, not letting them do it because, nitrogen is evil, even though our air is 97% nitrogen.
Right.
Nitrogen is evil. So they wouldn't let farmers fertilize their stuff. So their yields are way, way down on everything. For carrots, tomatoes, cabbage. I mean, believe it or not, the place that's doing the best right now is Russia. They've got the most yields of all of the stuff that's been planted around the world. China is doing shitty. Brazil is doing shitty. Everything that would normally, because we're global, one country would do, poorly, but another country would pick up the slack. This time around, this year, everybody's doing for shit except for Russia. And they're not sharing right now, or they're not allowed to share right now. Ukraine, it's been because of the war. They can't do anything, can't harvest, they can't do anything. So food is going to get expensive. unlike anything that you've ever seen. And you buy something now, you're only saving money for the future. And I'm not talking distant future. I'm talking weeks, maybe months. You know, when hyperinflation kicks in, and it will, you're not going to be able to get much of anything. And what is available is going to be way beyond the average person's price range. $50 for a pound of hamburger, kind of crazy.
Right.
So, you know, restaurants are going to go tits up, some because they won't be able to post that. You know, you're going to buy a quarter for
what's going to happen before that. And I'll tell you the transition point, because I think you're right. But before it gets crazy stupid, what you're going to have. Hi, Corey.
hey.
We're fixing to contact some spirits here in a second. We're just finishing up some discussion on some world problems going on and prophecies and stuff. But my point is, Stacy, is that what's going to happen is as those meat prices are getting to that $50 a pound and all that stuff along the way, and this is already happening in products and a lot of other products that you got to be careful. They're starting to fill things with sawdust and other horrible products as filler, bugs, bug parts, whatever, to start making up the difference. And there's even in prescription medicine, there has been like generic stuff that's been, not so much mainstream through like your traditional pharmacies and stuff, but a lot of it's just going to creep in towards mainstream. Eventually you're going to get some of these mainstream companies that's going to start adding more, filler to their taco meat or whatever, or adding more, they're going to start putting more oats, more sawdust, more, stuff.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to point that out because as those things happen, they're not just going to keep giving you quality and raising the price. They're going to start trying to see what they can get away with while the prices are rising. And, it's so I just want to caution people out there that watch these things.
Well, they've already been given a free pass. I don't know if you know this, but during COVID, the FDA sent out a letter to all the U.S. food manufacturers that they could replace certain things with other things and not have to change the label on the ingredients of these things. So what they're filling it with, they're not even being honest anymore and telling you what they're filling it with in the ingredients list. So you can't even look on the ingredients and say, okay, I don't want crickets in my food. They won't tell you. They're just putting it in there because FDA gave them a free pass.
Right.
And
or it's like that generic term in there and they just lump that in there. Like when it says like rib meat filler, well, like what rib meat? Cricket ribs, So of course is what kind of spirit you connecting to? Don't know. Maybe human. Potentially human spirit would be nice. Hopefully not an evil spirit. No. Typically those are banished in my communication, my studio type thing. The only time I ever try to open up for any spirit is when I'm at an investigation. If I'm at an investigation and I'm trying to find out what type of spirit's there, then I usually will ask for any, kind of a spirit come forward, versus when I'm at home, I'll say any positive spirit.
Yeah.
That's how it's going to be.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Corey, I don't know what point you came in, but we were talking about the Shemitah and the Jubilee in the Jewish calendar, on what's going on right now, dealing with the massive changes that are taking place. It had literally to do with like the Queen Elizabeth's death today. She died in the Shemitah, in the Jewish Jubilee calendar, which the Shemitah is 7 years. The Jubilee is every 50 years or 49 years, 7 times 7. And
yeah, and
she ruled for 50 years solid and then drops dead. So that's the kind of thing we're going to see a lot of between now and the 25th. World leaders, yesterday, Britain got a new head state. Boris Yeltsin got kicked out, and they brought in somebody new, brand new, yesterday. Queen Elizabeth dies today. I mean, it's the new cycle. Don't be surprised if the whole Eurozone does the same kind of thing, or China, or the United States. We have a
Well, we
really
are
big.
coming up on midterms.
Yeah, well, on the 30th, we have to have a new legislation in for the budget. They have to pay for the government on the 30th, and if they don't have legislation by then, government shuts down. It, and normally that's just a threat they throw around every year, but this year it might just really happen. So, and because they're talking about that's how they're going to bring down inflation. They just turn off the spigot of the government spending for the between now and January, and that would bring down inflation really quick.
Yeah, that would help.
No one would have any more money, and a lot of people would be laid off all at once. So,
all right, so we're gonna get into doing. We'll get into a dowsing rod session for you folks, and what we'll do is we'll open it up for any positive spirits that want to come forward and communicate. And if Stacy's fine with it, I would like Stacy to try to ask questions, if that's okay with you, Stacy, while I hold the dowsing rods and see what kind of, because again, my voice. So I would rather see if you want to ask some questions, whether you want to find out male, female, age, find out about them. If you want to ask some questions, whatever guides you.
have you ever done this before, where it's like remote like this?
Well, we did. Yeah. I mean, kind of like when I had Justin from Visually Creep TV, and he was in Wisconsin, and he had a set of dowsing rods. So we actually did dual across things, and so I would say things in both of our rods, and it was across. It was pretty cool. We did that.
Well, let's try this.
Yeah, I mean, but yeah, I think this should work for sure. But that's why I figured I'd rather you ask the questions. All right, so what I'll try to do, let's
Yeah,
I'm gonna make me bigger just so I can try to show you guys the rods. Okay. Move my microphone. Sorry for my you got my laser etcher, or my laser over here, and then I got Kleenex.
For ectoplasm, if that ever happens.
All right. All right. Yeah. I'll get us started, Stacy.
Yeah, get your spirit guide.
Well, I'm gonna bypass my spirit guide tonight. I'm gonna see what spirit's present. Is there a spirit present that would like to communicate? Could you please come forward and cross the rods for yes? Okay, that's pretty good. It's pretty good. Yes. Okay, straighten the rods out, please. Can you straighten the rods back out, please? Straighten them. There you go. Straighten them back out. Thank you. All right, now I'm going to let my friend Stacy ask the questions because of my throat. But thank you for communicating, and we look forward to talking with you more.
Are you a male spirit? Yeah, yes. Straighten the rods, please. Straighten the rods. Thank you. Are you under the age of 50 when you passed? Are you between the age 50 and 70? Oh. Straighten the rods, please. Thank you for that. Straighten the rods, please. Thank you. Are you an ancestor to Josh? Are you an ancestor to me, Stacy? Did you? Okay. That's looks like a hell no. Could you straighten the rods, please?
Corey said ask about him.
Yeah. Are you a friend or relative to Corey Aldrett in the chat? No.
Terry Lynn wants to know if they're related to her.
Are you a relative of Terry Lynn, Josh's wife? Are you a friend of Terry Lynn? Have you passed recently? Have you passed in the last 5 years? Thank you for that. Could you straighten the rods, please? Straighten the rods. There we go. Thank you. Did you die of natural causes? Did you die of an accident? Were you killed by someone? Well, do you know how you died?
Maybe sudden death and
Yeah. Oh, yep. There you go. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
You straighten the rods, please. Are you related to Josh? Are you a relative of Josh?
Sorry. So sudden death, they don't seem to be related to any of us, like any of us watching, unless they're related to Janet, who just popped in. But
are you related to Janet Ramsey?
Okay. Okay. So I wonder what they need, or if they need anything, or I wonder what's going on with them then.
Do you need any assistance? Oh, yes. Straighten the rods, please. Straighten the rods. Did you want to reach out to someone here in the chat, or Josh or myself? Is there somebody you want to communicate to? No. Are you an ancestor of Corey Aldrett? Yeah. That looks like a hell no.
Push the rods apart.
Yeah.
It's okay. Sorry, Corey.
Yeah.
Corey was probably hoping to speak to somebody.
Yeah.
Okay. I can feel push on the right one for sure. It's your guys' left, my right. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. There's like a constant pressure. Seriously.
Wow.
There you go. Thank you. Okay, I can feel the release now. Wow, that was a strong. I guess they could be getting frustrated, maybe, because
Yeah.
asking like, "Are you relative of this or relative?" I mean, I don't know, but so far they just don't seem to be related to anybody here.
Yeah. And they want help of some kind. Do you require help crossing over into the light? No. Do you need help?
Did you pass away in Bristol, Tennessee? Can you cross the rods for yes, or leave them apart for no? Did you pass away near Bristol, Virginia, or Bristol, Tennessee? Okay, so that might have been the last place they were at. Okay, straighten the rods back out, please. Okay.
Did you follow Josh home from Knoxville?
And say I don't think so. We made sure we didn't bring anything back on that trip, other than just Christian bringing back some sickness. uh, Janet says, "Now, do you need help sending a message to someone?" Hmm.
Mm.
Okay. Can you straighten the rods back out, please? Okay. Now, does the person that you're trying to get the message to, do I know that person, or does Terry Lynn know that person? Does either one of us know the person you need to get the message to? Cross the rods for yes. Leave them apart for no. Okay. Man, this is going to be a tough one here. But okay, well, we can try to see what we can do to help you with that. Is there anybody watching on this TV screen here? We're watching through this camera. There we have what's called a video chat. It's like a telephone. People are talking on here. They're watching you. So through the internet, if you know what that is, you died within the last 5 years, so you probably know what the internet is. So is there anyone watching this that would know who the message that you need to deliver? Is there anybody watching this that knows the person you need to deliver this to? Okay. Can you straighten the rods out, please? So one of you all watching this knows the person that died near Bristol, Tennessee, Bristol, Virginia. Does Stacy know the person? Does Stacy Talich know the person? Is it Stacy? Does he know the person?
Mm.
How about I already asked about me and Terry Lynn. How about Corey? Does Corey know? Corey Aldery. Does he know the person? Okay. How about Janet Ramsey? Does she know the person that you need to deliver that to? Okay, is the person that's watching this, are they going to watch this later on? What the heck?
They're not even watching it right now. So they will. the message.
Can you straighten the rods back out, please? So, all right. So, if you're watching this and you know somebody, what was it, Stacy? A male
Between
50s
50
to
and
70,
70.
right? That suddenly passed away. And apparently they have a message to get to somebody that somebody watching will know.
Within the
So,
last 5 years. They passed away in the last 5 years.
in the last 5 years. Okay, can we get a little more specific maybe? Was it Bristol, Virginia? Were you close to Bristol, Virginia? Okay, so probably the Virginia side then, because we're a border town. Because when I first said Bristol, Tennessee. Okay, thank you for that. Did you pass away in Bristol, Virginia? Okay. I'm going to name a couple quick little towns. What about Meadowview? Meadowview? Actually, okay, no. How about Abingdon? Okay. Let's go down that. Let's follow that same path for a second. Glade Springs. Okay. You seem to be indicating the wrong way. Okay. What about let's go another direction. Mendota? Oh wow, now you're going no. Okay, straighten the route back out, please. I'm sorry. I'm trying to figure it out for you. What about Hilton's?
There you go.
Okay. So you died in Hilton's within the last 5 years, male 50 to 70. So whoever watches this, that's a fairly small town. Okay. You straighten the rods back out, please. By I just want to ask you, since you've been so kind to talk to us, by any chance, are you related to any of the Carter family? Really? So for those of you that may not know, I just thought I'd ask because when we narrowed it down to Hilton's, thank you for that. So that whole area is the old June Carter Cash, AP Carter, the Carter family. From Johnny Cash, June Carter.
Wow.
Right. They actually have the Carter family fold up here that they use for concert venues every once in a while. It's just a little small thing. It's not, but they still have the original cabins. A couple of the cabins there, and it's not like I said. It's just a small little town, but there's a lot of like Carters and people that are related. So I just thought I'd ask because we got a Facebook user wanting to ask a question. So
We're not actually talking to Johnny Cash now, are we?
well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Oh, Johnny Cash?
Yeah, right here.
He didn't pass away in the last 5 years.
How long ago was it?
Okay. Are you Johnny Cash? Can you cross the rods for yes? I probably would have shit myself if he said yes.
Me too. My first celeb.
I know, right? I don't normally do the whole celeb chase thing. I just do whatever the rods guy, you know what I mean? Like wherever we go with this adventure. And I guess again, this is a man who died suddenly in the last 5 years, 50 to 70 years old in Hilton's, Virginia, that's wanting to pass a message that somebody here is going to watch. Somebody's going to watch this and say, hey, I think I know who that is. So if you watch this and and that fits the description, please message me, reach out to me and let me know. Okay. Okay. But yes, Facebook user, like whatever question you have, go ahead and you can type it in the chat.
Yeah. We don't see your name. We just see Facebook user.
Now they may be wanting to know a personal question. Right now we're talking to a male spirit that passed away. Okay. So somebody's gonna watch this. They're gonna have now. Let me ask you: when they watch this and you want to pass the message, what message do you have for them? Is it a message of love? Can you cross the rods for yes? Okay. Is it an apologetic message? Are you sorry about something? Oh, okay. All right. Can you straighten the rods out, please? Straighten the rods back out, please. Are you sorry that you passed away or something? I mean, are you because you suddenly left? Are you sorry about? Well, it almost seemed unsure on that. Did you have a fight, or was there some kind of minor disagreements, and you're just wanting to apologize? Is that what it's about, or? Oh, all right. Well, there you go. All right. Can you straighten the rods back out, please? Thank you. All right. And I'm going to ask you, because you're a spirit in the afterworld, maybe you might know this answer, but one of our Facebook users says, will Raphael plan on meeting up with a woman tonight? Can you cross the rods for yes? Or can you? Oh, wow. I would say it's a strong no. I don't know. That's what this spirit's saying. Now, again, this is a man that passed away here, a few years ago. So, all right, thank you. Can you straighten the rods back out, please? Straighten the rods back out. All right. So, did we achieve? Did we help? Did we help get your message out? Can you let us know that? Can you cross the rod? Oh, okay. All right. Thank you so much for that. Can you straighten the rods back out, please? Thank you. All right. Now, I'm going to end this communication session. I want to say you can please go back to where you came from now, and I'm glad that we can help you. But, of course, you're not welcome to stay in our home, so you do need to move on. Thank you so much. Ooh. Oh. Clear that off. But, yes, that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like I said, you never know. That's why I just thought I'm not even going to have my spirit guide come forward and try to reach somebody specific and all that right now. I just figured, hey, let's just see, because I know that if Terry Lynn's watching, she told me that there's been a spirit kind of lingering lately. So I kind of wanted to take this opportunity to address one of them. Hey, I see you. I wanted to take this opportunity to address if we had a spirit in the house and then move it on, like our stagecoach line, okay, you stayed here long enough, time to go.
Well, that's what I was kind of getting at with this. I wanted to see if you brought something home that was, kind of sucking the life out of you guys.
Yeah, I think it was just more of like I said, and this was something that I think Terry Lynn picked up on before we even left. It was just it's something we just haven't dealt with much, and we weren't really getting anything major. Like we weren't getting like major bad vibes or anything, and clearly it wasn't anything that. But she just was noticing things, and she'd be like, "Josh," and I just like, "I know, honey, we probably have something that's fine." And but she, she obviously would pick up on all the stuff and things like that, and me, I'm more of the dismissive, like, hey, we'll deal with it later or something, or if you want, we'll just need to deal with it. And so that's why I figured might as well go ahead. So that was awesome. All right. Stacey, you did a good job asking a lot of questions.
Yeah, I was trying to get a feel of what was going on while you were doing it, and it really was ambiguous. It wasn't, whoever it was that just crossed over isn't very proficient
in tune with the force.
Yeah, getting the idea of what it was trying to convey.
All right.
A cranky old bastard is pretty much the only thing I got from it.
Ooh, yeah, and but I think it worked, and it was nice to see that there was some spirit, and I really do hope that that he's right, that somebody's going to watch this from here in this area and is going to know, it's going to fit that and be like, hey, that was my uncle, or that was my friend, or that was, whatever.
Yeah.
I would love that. I would love that, because that's the kind of cool shit that I love to see, is when people get to have that moment with like a relative or a friend, just that thing, and I think that happened with, again, one of my audience members. I think I've told the story already, but when I was at CreepyCon and I was doing that panel, we had a grandmother come through and connect with a woman in the audience. Like, it turned out to be her, like, she knew, she was already like knowing it was going to be her grandmother. She's like, oh my God. And it was not the grandmother she thought, but it was another grandmother. And it was just a cool moment. It really was a genuine, for me, an awesome moment. I love when those things actually happen. It's so cool.
Weren't you also talking about, you did a Dowsing Rod about the murder that happened in the zoo?
Yeah, the accident. Well, not the murder, but it was an accidental death. That elephant trainer that got accidentally, Bob Fountain, what's going on, buddy? Have I missed anything? Yeah, a few weeks. You missed a lot. That's okay. No, we forgive you. Kind of. My camera would focus. There we go.
Yeah.
No, Bob, I'm glad to see you're alive, for one, and I'm glad to see you're in the chat. So that's awesome. But yes, we were just doing some Dowsing Rod sessions and talked to a gentleman that had passed away. At least it wasn't you, Bob.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I know that Bob already said he was going to come and visit us for sure if he ever passed away someday. So I don't know. The way things keep going, hell, you might have outliving me. Shit. You just keep going. All right. Well, let's try to open it up again. I'm gonna, this time though, because I think. Can my spirit guide step forward? Could you please cross the rods and let me know that you're here, please? Okay, thank you for that. Good, don't want me to just say thank you so much. Can you straighten the rods back out, please? Okay, I'm gonna let Stacy ask some questions.
I see you.
Oh wait, hold on. Oh yeah. Oh, you're gonna ask? Okay.
Asked if Kylie Rodney was accidentally killed or intentional. Cross the rods for yes.
Well, you're asking either or, so you're gonna have to pick one of them and say, was it accidental?
Oh yeah. Sorry. I was reading it that way though. Can you tell us if Kylie Rodney died accidentally?
Cross the rods for yes, or leave apart for no. Was it accidental? Cross the rods for yes, it was an accident, or leave apart for no.
Was the death intentional? It's an intentional death.
So who's Kylie Rodney? Forgive me. Is this like one of those child missing cases or something? Maybe. I don't know. I'm asking. I don't
either.
I have no clue. Usually, I kind of sometimes Terry Lynn will fill me in on things like that, and I don't know. But that's what the rods say. So I don't know what kind of answer that means for you, ICU.
Yeah, it's either a murder or suicide. That's intentional.
Okay, so Stacy, what did you want to ask my spirit guide?
Well, yeah, they found her and under investigation. It's a missing person, apparently.
Right.
Well,
it was an intentional death.
Yeah.
Whatever. I mean, at least as far as what the rods are saying. Again, Information is not always 100%, but I'm not trying to offend my spirit guide.
Kind of goes. Is Joe Biden going to finish his term in office? Cross the rods for yes. Leave him apart for no. Well, it looks like a no. Is Joe Biden going to leave office before the end of the month? Cross the rods for yes. No. Is he going to leave office after the midterm election? Yeah. That's still a wide margin there.
I know, that's why I was kind of wondering what that might have been, the hesitation in the energies, because there was like a long hesitation, then I felt a pulse.
Yeah.
Instead of like just a push. It's kind of like ICU wanted to know about the Kylie Rodney. If was it a suicide? Could you let us know? Was it a suicide? Can you cross the rods for yes? No. So it sounds more like, murder, homicide. Is it some type of homicide?
Yeah, that's a hard one.
Okay. Straighten the rods back out. If they ruled it a suicide, I'd be questioning it.
Yeah.
She said yes. What do you mean by yes? What I thought. Okay. Well, if they rule it a suicide, I would sometimes police do that when they either are just not competent at their job, or there's just not enough. Sometimes yes, it was a homicide. Oh, okay. Were you just testing the rods? Are you testing my spirit guide eyes to you? Jeez. You're killing me. Her car was underwater. Okay. Whoa, that was just me. All right, hold on. Just making some adjustments, folks. All right. Okay. Okay. Spirit guide, is your name Sam? You cross the rods for yes? I think I already asked that. Because it's supposed to begin with S. I know that.
Gonna whip out a baby book with all the S names in it.
Is it Steve? Is it Silas? It's because that was like in a horror game, right? All right. Well, Cypher.
Sylvester.
Okay. Well, I just thought I'd try to guess. Every once in a while, I got to throw those out there. It says found by adventurers with a purpose. They do cold cases, mostly have a website. Is that the divers that go they go around and dive all the time and pull up those vehicles and find people and stuff? Because that's pretty cool. That's a pretty cool show. Terry Lynn showed me that. She's like, no, I'm not just testing you.
Yes, they are.
I know, Terry Lynn. That's what I said. I said Sam. That's why I kept saying Sam. Scott. Oh, yeah. Is your name Scott?
Oh.
I know. I almost thought. Sydney. It's a male, so I don't know. Is it Sydney? Sid?
Satan.
God, please no. That'd be my luck. Like, hey, you know who my spirit guide is? His name's Satan.
Satan.
Whoa.
No.
Okay. I'm not trying to offend you. We're making jokes. Thank you. That's funny. Okay, yes, thank you. Straighten the rods out, please. I know you're not Satan.
It's not even funny, man.
Right? I know Terry Lynn said I love Adventures of the Purpose. Like, she's the one that showed me the show and showed me what amazing work they do and stuff. And have you heard of them, Stacy? Have you heard of that?
Yeah, they've been finding people a lot more than what the normal police do, and it's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's pretty cool. Like I said, Terry Lynn showed me that show. We've watched some episodes, and like I said, I just don't get to watch a lot of TV. When I do, we have some other stuff that we kind of watch priority wise. But all right, now she's gonna make me probably watch it after the show. I'm sure. I just have to be in the mood for certain shows sometimes. Like, no offense, but like I'm really picky sometimes, and I just don't watch a lot of TV. But they live here in Oregon, yeah.
Well, it's unique because most shows, when you do recovery work or um, work to recover, rescue and recovery of missing children or anything like that, it almost never ends well, and it doesn't make for good TV at all. I worked as a remote viewer for the Find Me group out of uh, uh, Arizona. They had Nevada and Arizona, but out of the Arizona group, yeah, in all the remote viewing stuff that we did for missing kids and missing persons, not one did we recover a live person. And it was really, really frustrating and never ended with happiness at the end. It was always depressing as hell. And, people wanted to do TV shows with that group, the Find Me group, and they just could not do anything that had a happy ending to it. And nobody wants to watch that.
It's tough. Well, and that's the thing about that show. It's like it's kind of bittersweet. It's like it's tough because you're dealing with a thing. Scotty, your name's Scotty. I don't know, honey. I know my spirit guy must be. He's like been playing with my rod. Wait. Okay. Scratch that. It sounded bad, but he's been moving the rods. Like, I guess he's probably bored. I don't know. Sorry. I know we've been keeping on the line here, but we've been sidetracked by talking about the shows. Stacy, what other questions do you have?
I lost my train of thought. Is this Shemitah going to be particularly stressful for everyone?
Everyone, I would probably narrow that down. Like
everyone here on chat and in this broadcast, is it going to be stressful, or is it going to be relatively calm? Actually, that's two questions again.
You could ask, will it affect the folks watching this? Any of the folks watching this?
Will the Shemitah affect the people watching this show?
I'm not even sure if that might be too generic. It's such a broad term because even world events can affect all of us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, ICU, I would suggest we spent the first 20 minutes of the show. You're going to have to watch it on replay because trust me,
it's a thing.
It's a thing, and we don't want to spend another 20 minutes explaining it. But for sure, go check out the beginning of the show where Stacy explains the Shemitah. But you'll understand. Other than that, we're just trying to ask some questions about the effects of that, or if it's going to affect us specifically.
Yeah, it's the end of a cycle in the Jewish calendar. Ask your question. What was your question? Ask if they know Walter.
Are you talking about my grandpa? I remember my wife really trying to get me to talk with my grandpa or something. I don't. You're putting me on the spot, honey. It's not fair. Too late, damage done. Just how many rods do you have that they can play with? I know Bob's been waiting to. I know it takes him a while to type, so he's he's been waiting. He's taken a long time to type that joke, damn it, and it was funny. Good one.
All right.
Yes, I'm sure my spirit guide would know. I'm sure he could find my grandfather, but I'm not ready for that, honey. I love you. One of these days, maybe, we may look at that, but that's a tough one for me. Okay.
Is Josh's house spirit free right now from Knoxville?
I'm not.
Nice.
Okay. Straighten the rods back out, please. Okay. Are there still spirits in our home or around our home that need to communicate with us right now? Can you cross the rods for yes? Leave a part for no? Okay, so must have just been that one guy earlier.
Yeah.
Okay, for now. We spoke to all my relatives. I'm telling you, I know he wants to speak with you. Well, he's not here right now, and I don't need to seek him out right now, honey. I love you. I'm not ready for that yet, please. Okay, so all right, so if you want to try to ask some more maybe worldly events, Stacy, I know you like to ask a lot of those fun questions.
Yeah.
My God.
Are the world economies on the press, let me rephrase that. Are the world economies about to collapse? Eh, that's kind of general too.
Could be specific ones, I don't know.
Is the Chinese economy about to collapse?
Okay. I'll ask this for Terry Lynn because I'll compromise and I'll ask this question. Will Terry Lynn and I get to keep our house? Can you let us know? Will we? Okay. Thank you for that. Thank you. Straighten the rods back out, please. Thank you. That was pretty quick, yes. So, all right. Will we get good news on this? Will we get good news with this Tennessee half? Oh, thank you for that. Can you straighten the rods back out, please? Thank you.
What's that?
What?
Get good news on the, what'd you say, Tennessee
half. It's a grant program for people affected by COVID and causing hardships and stuff like that. So okay. It's been a really successful program for people with like homeowners and stuff. So Ask the Spirit has the ability to create spontaneous dreams of the exact same message. Excuse me. I'll give the rods a second to calm down after I coughed. Hold on. Okay. Bob would like to know, Spirit Guide, do you have the ability, can you create spontaneous dreams of the exact same message to people? Can you do that? Can you cross the rods for yes? Huh. Okay. Straighten the rods out.
Samsonite.
Is your name Samsonite? Samson? Sammy?
Oh.
Swanson? I don't know. I was trying to get like some.
You need to get a baby book of all the S names.
We have the internet now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can do a baby book on the internet, but
Hey Siri, what's popular male S names? Okay. God, I can't touch my phone. Slappy. Okay, come on, really? I already said Samson. Snyder. Slappy.
so camel toe is going to be an no nose. What?
Probably Kamala.
Oh,
I know that's the bad thing. It's just like such a crappy. I think that's what they wanted to do, to be honest with you. I think the evil powers that line this up, they were like, who's the worst? Who's worse than JB? Who's worse? And they were like, well, Kamala is one of the most despised, candidates. They're like, because they wanted, because obviously if they had paired him up with like even just like Bernie Sanders or somebody, people would have just been pushing Joe out of the way just because.
yeah.
But with Kamala, it's like it's almost like they did that shit on purpose. They're like, we had to have somebody that people would say, we want Joe out, but maybe we don't. Like that kind of thing.
Yeah, she's really vacuous. The only other person who's got less going on between her is AOC. I put bread in the toaster and toast comes out. But where does the bread go?
Spirit guide, let me ask you a question. When you are a spirit, after you pass away, can you still like and dislike people? So you still can hold like and dislike opinions of people.
Oh, well, yeah, they can hold grudges. That's part of the problem.
Well, I mean, I just sometimes always thought too, like that maybe spirits, they kind of obtain a more bigger knowledge and maybe, some of the pettiness. I mean, I'm sure the narrow or the window or the margins are much bigger after you pass. But I'm sure, yes, there's probably some that's like, okay,
Well, yeah, there's a certain level of enlightenment that happens, but by and large, because now you can see what people do behind closed doors.
Spirit guide, I have to ask you this, but do you like Joe Biden, the American president? Can you cross the rods for yes or leave a part for no? If these rods start to cross, I'm dropping them, by the way. So, okay, I'm proud of you, Spirit Guide. Thank you for that. Okay, so I just wanted to ask. I had to get that out of the way. Like, you got to get to know your Spirit Guide. And if we're going to be, like, close, like, you got to be on the same kind of level with me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. I had to ask. Okay. All right. Ooh. Doesn't seem to have an opinion on GB. Yeah. He said no, he doesn't like him.
Yeah.
Silas. I said Silas. Steven. I think I said Steven. I'll ask Steven. Is your name Steven? Oh. Santiago. Is your name Santiago?
Sean.
Sean. Is your name Sean?
Oh,
Hey, Terry Lynn figured it out. Your name's Sean. Very good. Thank you for that. Now, is it spelled Sean? You cross the rods for yes. Okay. Is it spelled Shawn? Oh, wow. Okay. Now, I will tell you guys, straighten the rods back out. Thank you. Um, so my spirit guide did tell me before that we didn't know each other or anything like that. He wasn't a relative of mine. So my spirit guide is a complete stranger to me. He did live on this earth before. He is a male, identified as a male, and goes by Sean. Now that we know Sean, did you go by Sean? Was that what you went by? Okay,
yes.
I didn't know if maybe he could have a nickname. Okay, and were you Irish? Of course, I just had that because I have Irish heritage. I didn't know if maybe that was a thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
There we go. Sean, okay? I'm just gonna take a stab in the dark. Was your last name? See, it's kind of like stupid if I ask this, but was your last name McFarlane? And you cross the rods for yes. Okay, I was gonna say because that is part of my old Irish clan in my family tree. But then he did say he wasn't related to me in the past. So, but when you're Irish, it's like, anyways. All right, so there you go. Good job, honey. So Terry Lynn wins the prize. I don't even know what the prize is, but you win the prize, honey. Good job, baby. She was going through her Solomon, but it was good, Stanley. All right, so Sean, good job. All right, so yeah, okay, yes, confirm it. Yes, that was cool. All right, well now I know the name of my spirit guide is Sean. That's cool. All right, Sean. Well, thank you so much. Now, are you going to be my spirit guide for the rest of my days on Earth? Can you cross the rod? Do you know this? Can you cross the rods for yes? Okay. All right. So at some point, I'm sure I'll get another spirit guide. Oh yeah, he said yes. Okay, awesome. All right. Are you going to be my spirit guide for at least the next 5 years? Okay. Well, I don't want to press it. I don't want to know too much. So my spirit guide for at least the next 5 years is Sean. All right, guys. So there you go.
At least you're going to be around for the next 5 years.
History made on tonight's show. Okay. Terrelyn says, do you know, will you be reincarnated? Will you come back to Earth? Oh, good question, honey. Good job. That's cool. So Sean gets to hang out with me and guide me, and then he gets to come back to Earth. Who knows? Maybe I'll return the favor. Maybe I'll have to be his spirit guide at some point.
Wow. You just committed to something.
I said, who knows? Maybe. I got to be with Terry Lynn too. We've had some reincarnation lives together. I'm sure we got another round to go. He's answered questions as I'm like, okay, all right. Okay. So this has been pretty fun. All right. So I want to go ahead. I'm going to end the session. Sean, thank you so much. And I know you'll be around. All right. Thank you. Oh, unfortunately, that was very taxing on me. And I can tell. And like you said, Stacy, like the longer we was talking, I was slowly getting more and more of a back pain in my head a little more.
Uh-huh.
I had that for very long. That was like one of the longest open sessions I had, and I was really getting a lot of heat, my feet were no longer cold. I was getting the back of my head, was getting more pressure. So,
yeah, you're gonna need to cleanse for sure now. Just to,
yeah,
you know,
I will. I know Terry Lynn will want to too. Want to also, but folks, I hope you enjoyed. Christian was talking about him being an 80s kid. Oh, you mean? Oh, wait. I have a crazy question. Is this Christian's first time on Earth? I thought. Didn't we ask? Didn't we ask?
yeah, you did. I don't remember what it was, but you did ask.
I think we did talk about that before, and I think he was an older soul. I don't think this was his first time. So, I mean, we may have to go back in some of the older recordings, and honestly, honey, maybe we'll ask again next time if we get Sean on the line. Now that I know his name, get my spirit guide or something. And really, Terry Lynn, we need to find out who's guiding you. Like, we need to find out your spirit guide. I know you have guardian angels and stuff, but we need to find out who your spirit guide is. But yeah, Christian's talking about it, but yeah. But I know that we have talked about that. We have asked. So, and I think Christian may even be an older soul than me. As far as I can tell, I think I went back to about middle ages, around the Renaissance period. And that's about as far back I think that I went. Right. I know, baby. I didn't say you'd do it tonight. When you get better. But I think Christian may have went back even further. And I know you went back all the way back to at least in almost Egyptian, almost 5,000 or 6,000 BC, I think. It was a while, wasn't it? I can't remember, Stacey. It was a while back. We did find, and then we did start having some lives together. You and I had been together a few times. And
she was royalty in the past. She was royalty in the past.
Right. We definitely found that out. And, she has used that occasionally to her benefit. That's all right. I've always called her princess and stuff anyway. Not like in that term. Like, I don't, hey, princess, that sounds kind of like creepy dad stuff. But, I have referred to her as a princess in that sense. I'm royalty. I know, baby. You're royalty. I'm just a peasant. But we have crossed paths. So we have been together and some stuff. It was pretty cool. I was really surprised that all three of us hadn't met before yet. But again, I think that probably in each go around as different stars and different things paths, some people will find each other, and like Terry Lynn and I hopefully will continue to have our evolution. And again, other paths may cross and be, so all three of us could find another way to be around each other in the future again. Who knows? So,
well, we may have met in the afterlife, not actually in this life or previous lives. Afterlife is this nebulous kind of, there is no time kind of thing. So.
Yeah. I don't know, but it's pretty crazy. But we're going to go ahead. We're going to end it. And, now, Terry Lynn. Oh, I was going to say, do you think we should do a political show tonight? Meaning that if Stacey had time, like I would, like firing up the other page. So, I don't know, just asking, because
I'm tired. I'm still
okay. All right.
Phased out from driving from Chicago. So
yeah, that's true. And I don't know, but I do want to get it and fire up now that I'm past that block, I think. Yeah. So I should be unbanned, or I should be out of jail, YouTube jail. So I would definitely like to do And would definitely like to do some more lives and fire up my my other channel again.
Yeah, that would be fun. I just right now you she's doing all right. Her mother came out of the hospital with flying colors after getting the booster and blood clots in her lungs, and they gave her clot busters and everything like that. She came out and is doing really well now. It was one of those things where it was touch and go for a little bit, but it worked out okay.
Yeah. No, that's good though. I'm glad to hear that it at least worked out okay for you on that.
Yeah.
All right. So any last minute anything you got anything else you want to add, Stacy, before we
No. I mean, no, we didn't have a loss. She came out with flying colors. So we're good. Nobody died.
Yeah, she thought you had said that before. So okay.
No,
all right.
I lost sleep. That's what I lost.
Right.
Driving 14 hours one way and driving 14 hours back the other. I lost sleep. So
I bet. All right, folks. Well, then that does it. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed the show. We had some good conversation with some spirits, learned a couple things. So I really hope you enjoyed us. Again, if you did not see the beginning of this, go back, watch the beginning, that first 20 minutes, so you can learn about the Shoo. Whatever. The stuff that Stacy talked about. The prophecy stuff. So the Jewish prophecy stuff. Anyways, go back. Shemitah. Yeah, there you go. So go back, watch that first part, and then if you are really bored and you want to go to sleep, just watch the rest of the show after that again, and maybe you'll go to sleep. But thanks, Bob. I appreciate it. It was good to see you in there. I see you. Everybody that showed up. Thank you guys so much. We always love you guys in the chat, and I'm so glad to see you guys again. It really is. Anytime we get our regular folks coming in, it's I love getting to see everybody. It's like that hug, you know what I mean? So, guys, we'll see you next week. We'll see you in the next video. And remember, seek the truth.
Peace.